thank you. And so we're going to have a little fun here. For those of you that didn't know that you could do this, even though we're on Zoom, I don't like certain things of Zoom. So I use Ecamm. And so I'm going to actually walk you through the actual Clubhouse app. You're now looking at my iPhone screen, and I can still see you. You can see me. That's part of the beauty of using Ecamm. I do this now when I teach courses to community colleges. So this is the app itself. Sometimes if you search, there's a couple different ones in the App Store, but this is the one you want right now. It's got this guitar player. He's the app cover. There's actually I think a story behind it. So they just updated it today. So if you go in later, you'll see some of the new features they have. I think they've been trying to update it about once a week. Unfortunately, it's only how do I put it, available on iPhone or iPad right now. So if you've got an Android, I know all the Android people are either have FOMO or they say who cares. I've seen that a lot on Facebook. So I'm going to open the app, and so when you first get your app, you'll see up here in the upper right corner, I've got my photo. So this is my profile, and so when you first start out, when you log in, it's going to be tied to your phone number. So you invite people by text message. And so up here in the upper right here is this little gear wheel. And this is where you can see some of the different things you're able to do. You can connect your Instagram and Twitter to Clubhouse. So you have that direct link. And here's why this is important when you're setting up. When people are looking at your profile, you're going to get people that want to connect with you. Well, there's a lot of direct messaging going on between those apps. So there's even been people that have set up an Instagram just so they can get messaging from people. And then you can change how frequent you want to get notifications, because otherwise your phone will constantly be going off if you have checked normal as well. And then in the bio itself, so you can see here, I can change my photo. What people do, I don't do it, but sometimes people will change their photo while they're in a room. So they come up with ways. It's almost like maybe they say, you know, I can't talk, but personally, I don't do that. I just keep my photo there. And then with your bio, what I used was Note on my iPhone. You could do that on your, if you've got Apple products, you could kind of shift it over. And so I basically copied my LinkedIn profile about, and at the bottom, you'll see there. Another nice thing is you'll see who nominated the person. So we'll go look at Alan's in a little bit. And so you'll kind of see what happens there. And then they have clubs. Clubs are these different groups that once you've hosted a room at least 3 times in 3 weeks, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, you can create a club. So like if Alan and Scott wanted to, at some point, they could create a global tea break club. They could invite people to be a part of the club, and then the club members can actually create rooms within the club to have conversations. So that's another really interesting feature. So you get, followers and following, just like every other platform. And so you can see who I'm following, and I can look at anybody's followings, just like you can on a lot of profiles. So as an example, you can see some of the clubs that I'm following: YouTubers, public speaking. Um, I'm also a member of a bunch of clubs. TubeBuddy started a club if you're a YouTuber, that where they've got people that are in the YouTube community, and actually the folks from TubeBuddy are doing that as well. And then, so that's kind of your bio. I recommend you get your bio updated as quickly as you can, because what happens is I have people that are following me, but as an example, this guy, Sinane, right? I don't have a picture. I don't have anything about him. So I'm not sure that I want to follow them back. Maybe at some point, if they update it, I will. I do know who nominated him, so that might make me at least consider it. So let's go back. So now you can also search for people and clubs. And so I'm gonna search for this guy I know named Alan. We'll put him on the spot. And then there he is. I'm following him. And what's really neat about this is he that's how he got in because of me. I nominated him is what they call it. So that's kind of the thing you're going to carry on for life. So that's really kind of a cool thing. And I can see who's following him that are my that I maybe am following. So I can see he's followed by Ian Anderson Gray, Madeline Sklar, and several others. We've got that. And so where that can become it's almost like a credibility thing sometimes because maybe you'll say like, okay, if Scott nominated this person, then they're probably worth following because I trust Scott. This is all done though by text message to join. So it was kind of funny because I actually had to have Alan give me his phone number, and I was like, I've done a couple international invites, and you're like, does that really work on text? And it does. So you put them in your contacts because what happen is if you want to invite someone, and you'll see this is the envelope here. This tells you like I have one invite left. I have 5 that are pending. Those are people that I've texted that have not. But these are people that I know. They're in my contacts in my phone. So if you're not in my contacts, I have to add you first. Then your name will pop up, and I could then invite you to Clubhouse. It'll create a text message, and then that text message will go. So I've always told people like, "Hey, heads up, I'm sending you a text message." The more active you are on Clubhouse, what happens is usually about once a week you'll get more invites. So if you're using the platform, it's kind of like, okay, this is a person that's using it, and you can do that. Yeah. And now Gail had a question that she got in from a random person. No, unfortunately, at the moment, you cannot change who invited you, and you can't even change your phone number because I have a funny story. I got invited through my business virtual phone number, and so that's why it's causing me a problem getting it onto my iPad. So I've had to stick with the phone. What you're seeing here, these are rooms that are actually going on right now. So here's one 10 mindset hacks for entrepreneurs. These are the people in it. If it's got like a little word cloud next to it, that means they're actually on stage. And in this room, they've got 616 people are in the room, 54 are on stage. That's quite a bit of people, a little too big for me. Um, entrepreneurs. Yeah, Jeremy's trying to start a room while we're in the middle of this. But maybe we'll do that. We could, but we're going to do a room after this today. Here's one, right? Full-time YouTubers. Tell us about your lifestyle. 48 and 4. This is for me. I will tell you that I found um what it's like. Yeah, so Jeremy, actually we'll jump in. Did you make that a private room? So
I
that way
mostly just wanted the notification to pop up so people
yeah,
saw it.
yeah.
I already closed the room.
Okay, so I will start a private room, and I'll invite Jeremy just so you guys can see because we don't want a bunch of people jumping in while we're doing this. But these are the live going on rooms. Now, you also have a calendar up here. The calendar, as you start following people, it tells you what they've got coming up. You can also, there's a way to download and say all upcoming. The more people you follow, the more events you'll see. So that's another thing that they do. You can have your own events. I think I have one coming up later today. Yeah, I'm going to be doing one at 12:30 um, with several people, and so that's going to help me quote unquote get that credit if I wanted to start my own club because I was hosting a room. That's where you got to get the 3 in, and then let's see here. We cancel that. Um, and then the other thing you can also search for is what we call, so you can search for people, but they've also created topics. So as an example, if I go into wellness, it's got people that are also following wellness. Um, but you can also go by topic. So let's say you wanted to learn about nutrition. So now it's showing you people and clubs that are related to nutrition. So they keep adding those features. So it's topical, also people. And here's the other thing about your bio. This does work with keywords. So the more words that you put in your bio that are related to what you're doing, the more opportunity you're going to get to either be found or, or if you're looking for specific topics. That you can also in here too, right? Like if we said live live streaming, excuse me. I've got the people tab and the clubs. So if I go for clubs, you can see there's 5 clubs that have the word live streaming in there. Of course, it's kind of funny, right? Someone started a club, one member this week in dating apps. Apparently, that's not very popular yet. Ecamm Live has its own community. I am a member of that, and so there's really it continues to grow, literally on a daily basis. Um, so these are some of the things that you can do. Then you have your notifications, right? This showed me that Jeremy started a new room, and this is chronological as well for most recent. So you're gonna see notifications of people that you're following that you will then see. And if I've looked at it, it kind of grays out. Like Brian Fanzo he's got a club, the Misfit Mafia room in his club there, and then you can kind of see that it just keeps. It doesn't like keep all of them. So this is like for a bit, but that's how you can kind of maybe say, oh, I missed out on that. Because here's the thing about Clubhouse. Clubhouse does not record the sessions. Now, what some people do or have been doing, but they have to announce it up front, is they record the conversation on some other device. Maybe they've got a microphone near their phone and they're recording the session, but they have to let you know up front. Because where Clubhouse is the FOMO is that it literally uh, disappears when the room is shut down by the moderator. So when you start a room, so if I hit the start a room button, I can make it close. So I'll do that real quick. I'm going to choose, I'll choose Jeremy since I know he's here. And so then we hit done. Let's go. Jeremy's going to get a notification. And even tells you, heads up, sharing recordings without the speaker's permission violates the community guidelines and will result in suspensions. So Jeremy's got his microphone muted. Mine is on, and so you may see it's kind of pulsating there. And so if Jeremy were to unmute his microphone, we're now having a conversation within Clubhouse. And Jeremy, I don't know that they'll be able to hear us, but you can go ahead and say hey on there, see if it works. So yes, I heard him, and then he's got the little like celebration sign on his photo. That means he's new to Clubhouse. For the first 7 days, you have like that horn of plenty or whatever it is. So that's how people know that you're new to the thing. If we wanted to add people, we have this little plus button. I can ping someone, like I could ping Alan, and or I could even ping Gail, right? So Gail has her notifications off. So I could actually send her a text of this room where Gail could then join us in Clubhouse. Same thing. I could invite, actually, now she just joined. Let's put here Alan. Alan's, not on right now, but I still pinged him. Yeah, so that I can invite her as a speaker. Let me close this out. Alan is now joined as a listener. And so now that they're on stage, so Alan is in the audience. And so what happens is, as the moderator, I can hit Alan's button and I can invite him to speak. So then we'll bring him up on stage if he wanted to. I can make Jeremy a moderator. So now he can also invite people to the stage as well. So here's the thing to consider with being a moderator is if you give someone moderator power, they've got the same power as you. They could actually kick you out of your own room. So just be wise about your moderator powers. And if you decide to leave and turn a room over to somebody else, that room will continue to go on. And there's actually been rooms that have gone for days. It's like a thing, kind of like the 24-hour expo. Well, there's been multiple day clubhouses. And so, yeah, so we've all in the room. I could decide, all right, I'm going to stop Jeremy, move him to the audience. He's no longer the moderator. And then we're going to close. So I'm going to close the room. Let's see here. I think it'll let me close it since I'm the moderator. And so he's asking to be invited to speak. So he invites to speak. And because I am the moderator now, okay, there's 3 dots right next to that lock. I can end the room. And then the room is on and all of us, our conversation is over. So if you're moderating, you want to make sure if you want the room to shut down that you shut the room down or it will continue to go. Someone will have to be made a moderator though if you're the only moderator and trying to leave. So that's kind of a quick way. They've always got this starter room when you're looking at this because that's really what they want you to do. They want you to be active. Um, I was in a great room yesterday with Mitch Jackson and Bob Berg. So Bob Berg is actually on Clubhouse now, and because there's only maybe about 1 million people on there right now, one of the things that you never think of is you're meeting people that you wouldn't necessarily meet on other platforms because I actually yesterday in the Bob Berg room I met a lady here in my part of Atlanta that's a realtor and had she was saying some great things on stage. So now we've connected on LinkedIn, we're connected on Facebook, Instagram. Would have never happened without this platform. So I think whether this lasts, 6 months, 6 years, I think it's a good platform to start building new connections. There is a dark side to it, I would say. There are some kind of bizarre rooms like how to become a millionaire in 7 days or people offering you money for following other people. And I think it's just like all other social, you have to be smart. Here I will warn you about this too. This happened to me once. You get sucked into Clubhouse and it's hard to leave. So one night I started being in a room at 6 o'clock in the evening, and at midnight I finally got off after being in 2 straight rooms and being on stage the whole time. So it wasn't like I was just listening. So the pressure was there to have to talk. And I was like, no, nah, I'm not going to do that anymore. So even if you set up a room, you can schedule it and say it's going to be an hour. I've seen some people be really successful, like saying, okay, we're going to talk for an hour about podcasting, or we're going to talk for an hour about YouTube. And when the time is up, the time is up. And they say, thanks, everyone. I want to respect your time. We'll see you next time. And so I think that's a really good strategy. What Mitch Jackson has done, I've been doing that some. What's kind of nice is I equate this to, and I'm actually going to change cameras for a second because I don't know that I need to keep showing you that. What I have seen is that it's a great way to learn things. So you could have it on your phone. You just stay in the audience and you listen to the conversation maybe while you're doing something else. Because unlike Zoom, right? You don't have to be camera ready. And so I think it's really got a lot of great benefits right now. And so that's kind of a run through of what Clubhouse is right now.